All hail a beard, it's your boy Big Beard B, and we back for another edition of Big Beard Business. In today's video, we're discussing Creme de Cuir from the house of BDK Parfums. Now listen, if you know anything about this line, they've been making some noise here recently, and I finally got my hands on a few bottles. And when I say finally, I made a few months ago. Now the presentation for BDK Parfum fragrances are pretty similar to each other. However, they are a lot different than things that I've seen on the market. They have this label on the edge. Now we've seen that before in a few fragrances, and traditionally that means they're really on the cutting edge of things. I'm not sure if they figured that was the same approach, but that's generally speaking what we have been told. For those of you who like to see it, there is your atomizer, nice pressurized distribution there, really gets the job done. Now the presentation for BDK Parfums is pretty simplistic, as the box here is just, it doesn't matter, okay? Fuck the box. Now what I was going to say was the presentation on the box, it goes through and shows you some of the notes, but you don't need that when I can tell you the note breakdown. So in the top, you're gonna have mandarin, bergamot, and pineapple. In the mid, you're gonna have pink berries, white suede, and sandalwood. And in the base, you're gonna have vanilla, you have birch oil, you have white musk, and you'll also have gray musk. Now the company describes Creme de Cuir as an elixir of sensuality and seduction. Now I know that that is an ambiguous statement, so let's dive in just a bit. So Creme de Cuir, if my French is correct, then this really translates to cream of leather or cream leather. And what we would get here, or what we'd expect to get, is a creamy mix of leather. To me, on first spray, what you get here is a hint of sweetness mixed with what I would call an authentic leather vibe, and then you also get some notes of citrus. Now I don't find the leather in this fragrance to be aggressive. I don't feel like it's over the top. It's there, but it's definitely not super in your face, and I don't think that the leather note in here is really going to be offensive. In fact, I wouldn't really venture to say that anything about this fragrance is super in your face. In fact, what I would say what you get with this fragrance is exactly what it says. You get a fragrance that's super creamy, you get some of those leather vibes in this one, but it's definitely soft and close to the skin. Also, with this fragrance here, you're gonna get something that is a unisex scent. So this one is marketed as a unisex fragrance, and along with that, I believe they took the appropriate steps just to make sure that this one really works well for both genders, and therefore they just had to be very calculated in their approach. So as you already heard me mention, the leather in this fragrance is toned down, and as the company says, they stripped it back just a bit. And to me, this one is a nice deviation from a lot of the leather-based fragrances. Let me rephrase it, some of the more popular leather-based fragrances out there, because this one really takes a different approach. Now with that said, I don't really find that this fragrance changes a ton, but I do get some subtle hints of changes as this fragrance really progresses through its life cycle. To me, the musk really becomes more present in the dry down, but again, it's not super aggressive. This one doesn't have a Himalaya type of approach from Creed, as that one does have an aggressive musk note. But for me, this one is really toned down, it's subdued, and again, this kind of just leans to that soft, more comfortable feel. Now on the flip side, I would say that this one does get compliments. Now obviously you know that we have been quarantined for a bit, and I've been not really doing the weekly fragrance rotation videos because I haven't really been doing much. I go out the house maybe once or twice a week. Therefore, I'm doing a lot of my testing in home. And one of the things that I will say about this fragrance is in my testing phase of this one, I had multiple fragrances on skin, and I did get a compliment on this one from the family. He's like, yo B, you have multiple fragrances on skin. How do you know where the compliment is coming from? So what happens is if the missus or the kiddos say you smell nice, or I like that, I have them smell the different spots that I have the fragrances placed on me, and then they say, hey, this is the one that I am smelling. Now, which is really weird because I talked about this one being a soft scent, and to me, it doesn't really seem to project a ton. However, it did work enough to stand out from the fragrances that I were wearing, so that's something to keep in mind. And while we're on the topic of performance, let's talk about the longevity in this fragrance. And they really didn't slack on the longevity here. Although I said this one is a light fragrance, to me it seems to sit close to the skin, but again, this one did stand out enough to perform, or at least garner the attention of the family amongst other fragrances. What I would say is that this one has good longevity, man. I'm getting way beyond the 8 to 10 hour marker on this one. I would dare to say 12 plus hours on this fragrance, which is really weird for me because with how light this fragrance is, I really didn't expect it to stay around long. All in all, I would definitely say that this one is a compliment-worthy fragrance, and with this one being a unisex fragrance, I really believe that the way the scent decides to go really depends on the wearer. If I came across a super feminine woman wearing this one, I would not think she was wearing a men's fragrance. And also to the same side, if you're dressed up, you're dapper, or if you're dressed nice casually and you're wearing this fragrance here, I don't think anyone would think you smell feminine. This one is an Eau de Parfum concentration fragrance. It's 100 ml and it's $180, but I don't think that is bad at all. And also, if you click down below, my people at Crystal Fragrance, she does carry this fragrance, and I have a standing discount on her site that applies to a few fragrances, and this, my friend, may be one. All right, just click the link down below if you're looking to check this one out. It'll take you to their site, and you can use that code on a lot of fragrances on her site if you are looking for something. Now, I know what you're thinking. Next part is, hey B, when is the best time to use this fragrance? And to me, that one really just varies. Although the name here applies that there is leather. Yes, there is leather here. But as I've stated in the beginning, I don't find the leather here to be aggressive or in your face. And because of that, I feel like you can wear this one in pretty much all season wearing, right? As I said, this one is a light fragrance, and I feel that it's light enough to get away with in the spring and summer. However, the notes in this one and the performance in terms of the longevity will work enough for you in the cooler weather. As we are approaching fall, I think that this is a fragrance that will really transcend well for you from the warmer months to the cooler months, and definitely one that I recommend you at very least get your nose on. So I only have two fragrances from the house of BDK. I have this one and Rouge Smoking at the moment. I believe that's the name of it. This was the one that I figured we needed to start off with. If you know, I like gourmand fragrances. This one doesn't really take a gourmand approach, but it does have a hint of sweetness, and I believe that the way they did this fragrance in terms of it being leather versus a lot of the other leather fragrances that I have, this one really just takes a different approach that I enjoy. All in all, this one is a solid 4-season scent that I believe you can wear, and for me, this one would get an 8 out of 10. I'm a fan of this fragrance, and so far I've been a fan of a lot of the fragrances that I've smelled from this house. Although I only have 2 full bottles, I was able to get the full collection in terms of samples, and I'm really impressed with some things that I'm smelling from this house here. So hopefully I'll bring you some more in the future, but as always, if you want to check this one out, be sure to click on the link down below and check out my people over at Crystal Fragrances. This one is not a sponsored review, but I figure if I can hook you up with a discount code, why not do so? Or hook you up with, discounts on anything on the site. Not that it applies to everything, but you know where I'm going with that. All right, so there you have it, man. That's my take on this one. Creme de Cuir from the house of BDK Parfums. As always, I'm your boy, Big Beard Beard. If you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend that we are back again. And you already know what I need you to do. Hit the goddamn bell.